All right. Welcome, everybody. This is a virtual neighborhood meeting for a proposed development project at a property known as Beauprez Farms. Next slide. My name is Jennifer Hewitt-Apperson. I'm a principal planner here with the city of Longmont, and I run the neighborhood. I'll be running the neighborhood meeting. With us this evening from the city are Phil Taylor, who is the senior planner, Sam Lanternier, civil engineer, Josh Sherman, who is our engineering public works coordinator. Um, let's see, Rachel Jones, who is also one of our engineers. And let's see, who else am I missing here? We have Dallas Stiles, who is the one who keeps everything running smoothly for us here. And then with the applicant team, we have Jim Harmon and Pam Hora. So this evening's meeting is a required part of the pre-application process. The city does not yet have a formal application under review, and no decisions will be made tonight. This neighborhood meeting is intended to be informational for everyone involved. Staff will give an overview of the process for annexations, comprehensive plan amendments, rezonings, and concept plan amendments, which are the application types under consideration. Then the applicant will present their concept plan and general development program. At that point, we will then take a 5-minute break, and instructions for calling in will be posted if you are interested in asking questions or making comments. If you wish to speak, please call in during that 5-minute break to get in the call-in queue. So why live stream? We found that the live stream format consistently allows for broader community engagement. In addition to the increased participation during the live portion of this meeting, this format enables a recording of the meeting to be available for future viewing on the city's YouTube channel for anyone who is unable to tune in live or would like to get a refresher on the details at a later date. Next slide. So this property is for 2 parcels in North Longmont, specifically north of Ute Highway and west of 287. The property known as Beauprez Farms number 1 is approximately 96 acres. This property is already annexed into the city of Longmont. The property known as Beauprez Farms number 2 consists of approximately 57 acres and has not yet been annexed into the city of Longmont. Next slide. So the parcel known as Beauprez number 1 was annexed in 2008. It currently has a PUD mixed use zoning, so planned unit development mixed use zoning with what is called the Terry Lake overlay zoning. It is identified as within the Terry Lake mixed use area in the Envision Longmont future land use map. Beauprez number 2 is currently unincorporated in Boulder County, as I mentioned earlier. It is designated as with it being within the Terry Lake mixed use area in Envision Longmont. It does not currently have City of Longmont zoning, as it is an unincorporated Boulder County. Next slide. So in terms of what's being requested, for Beauprez number 1, because it is already annexed into the city of Longmont and does have an existing concept plan, the applicant would be seeking a concept plan amendment, a comprehensive plan map amendment, and a rezoning from PUD MU to mixed use corridor and residential mixed neighborhood. For the property known as Beauprez number 2, the applicant would be seeking annexation with a concept plan and zoning, as well as a comprehensive plan map amendment. The applicant will go through the details of their request and why they're seeking these changes momentarily. So even though the applicant does propose to develop these parcels together as a master planned project, each parcel will have its own set of application processes given their differing regulatory needs. Next slide. So I just want to give an overview of the process. We're at the very beginning. The first step in this project, in the process for development applications within the city of Longmont, is a pre-application meeting, which was held earlier this year. We are at the neighborhood meeting stage. This is part of our pre-application meeting requirement. So again, we do not have an application under review. This is another part of our required pre-application process. Following this meeting, the applicant would be eligible to submit an application for the annexation, rezoning, and comprehensive plan amendment, as well as a concept plan amendment. These applications would be reviewed by the Development Review Committee, which is an interdisciplinary committee made up of city staff from areas such as planning, engineering, public works, parks and recreation, inclusionary housing, really a very wide range of specialties, as well as public safety. Once the Development Review Committee has completed its review and determined that the project is sufficient and ready to go to a public hearing, it would go to public hearings by the Planning and Zoning Commission as well as City Council. City Council is the decision-making body for all of the application types under consideration at this point. Just as a note, there will be at least 3 additional sets of public notices, both posted on the site and mailed to property owners within a 1,000-foot radius of the property, as was done for the neighborhood meeting. We require that notices be posted and mailed upon formal acceptance of an application under review and before any public hearings before the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council. The application types described here are only the first step. If the annexation, concept plan amendment, comprehensive plan amendment, and rezoning are approved by City Council, the project would then go through platting and site planning and public improvement plans, civil engineering processes. So we're still at the beginning of this process, and it's as far as when something might be built, it's hard to say, but we have quite a bit of time just in development reviews before anything comes out of the ground. Next slide. Actually, I've already discussed this. So I will also note that the concept plans that are considered for the discussed application types are high level and typically include really parameters for development, but don't include the details as far as, elevations, what types of buildings you're going to see, what everything's going to look like. We would be looking at things such as general locations of where development types would be, as well as proposed densities and intensities and use types, etc. The types of details as far as what it looks like and where the roads are going to be and where the pipes are going to be, that would come during subsequent development applications. Next slide. So I'm not going to go through all these slides. They're here for illustrative purposes. I know they're tiny font. So in addition to ensuring that all applicable code standards are met, proposed development applications must meet established review criteria. Those for all types of proposals, all application types, as well as additional criteria for certain types of applications. So for all applications that city staff review, there are 6 review criteria that must be met for all application types. Next slide. For annexations, there are an additional 7 review criteria that we consider. Next slide. Concept plans and concept plan amendments must meet 3 additional review criteria. Next slide. And then rezonings must meet at least 1 of 3 criteria in addition to those 6 base criteria that were shown previously. Next slide. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Jim Harmon and Pam Hora from the applicant team, and they will talk through some of the details of the project. Thanks, guys.
Jim, it looks like you're muted.
Unmuted?
Yes.
I'm Jim Harmon. I'm the managing partner of the ownership groups of Beauprez Farms 1 and 2. With me tonight is Pam Hora, who's our principal planner and project manager. First, Jennifer and entire Longmont team, thank you guys for organizing this evening's meeting. We appreciate it. Next slide, Dallas. So this is location of our two properties, as Jennifer's already shown you. Next door to our property to the east is the LifeBridge Christian Church, a little bit more than the location map in the notice said is shows the preschool. But the church is our next door neighbor to the east, and to the west we have the veterinary clinic and another church. Next slide. This is the existing land use master plan for the area. We worked on this plan starting in about 2005, which is when I think I was involved in the very first meeting. Um, it is was adopted by the city of Longmont by ordinance, I believe, in late 2007 or 2008. It was the framework for the development of the entire area of what's became known as Terry Lake. It's effectively Highway 66 to Vermilion Road, from Main Street to Hover Road. This was a land plan that was done at a time when major commercial uses were envisioned in this area. Um, the market has certainly changed. We like to call it a pre-Amazon plan. Now there will be commercial uses, but it's going to be more heavily weighted onto residential uses. Things that transpired during the years since our very first meetings, changes to the drainage, changes to the open space areas. The city of Longmont and and Boulder County have acquired the properties to the north of us, so those are now permanent open space. The market certainly has changed. Much less commercial is necessary in this area, and so it's going to more heavily lean on commercial. Next slide. So this is the land use plan shown in the current City of Longmont, the comprehensive plan, the Envision Longmont plan, which was adopted in 2016. This very much mirrors the land uses we expected to have in 2007. Next slide. This is our proposed change to that comprehensive plan to enact the proposed changes that reflect today's market. If you notice the southern half kind of in a light purple color, that's the mixed use corridor, which will have the bulk of the commercial uses and higher density residential. To the north in the tan orange color, we have mixed residential uses. We have the neighborhood park, which will be 10 acres, an elementary school site in the northwest corner, which will be utilized by St. Vrain Valley School District. And then in the northeast corner, an open space corridor, which adjoins the Boulder County land and the Willis Heights land. The next slide, please. So here are the zoning, which would be MUC and RMN, which are both City of Longmont zoning categories. The uses that are allowed are enumerated out in the Longmont code. Effectively, MUC has mixed uses of residential and commercial, more of the typical commercial uses. The RMN is largely residential uses with ancillary commercial that would go along with that. I mean, a use might be a preschool. Next slide. So this is our concept plan, and I think this really kind of lays out what our plans are going to be. There's going to be two major traffic intersections constructed. One will be the connection of Gay Street, where the church's property is, connecting around through our property. The second will be Francis Street, which connects through our property up to Gay Street. Francis Street will be a fully signalized intersection, will be constructed with the first phase of the project. The other street streets you see in here are most likely local streets that will connect the various land uses through the project. The school site and the park site are shown in this plan. Next slide. Oops. Back one, please. Um, some of the big things to note here are there's not going to be major commercial in this project. We don't envision it in any event. Along Francis Street, adjacent to Highway 66 will be the bulk of any commercial uses that we see. I think once you get north of Gay Street, the uses will be various types of residential. Again, they're all enumerated out in the code. We, at this point in time, can't really elaborate on what those uses will be, as we haven't identified any users up there. The circulation that you see on here, the roadways, particularly Gay Street and Francis Street, are very similar to what's been shown since 2007. The big variation is that since all the land to the north of our property is now open space, there won't be any road connections up to Vermillion Road. The school site is located where it was envisioned in the original plans. The park site has been shifted more to the middle of the property to make it more accessible to not only our future property owners and residents, but also to our neighbors. I think that this is a very brief overview, but realistically, it gives you a good sense of what's going to happen on the property. Um, the next slide is a series of slides, and this is a series of slides related to the condition on the property related to drainage, which has been one of the issues over the years. This is a city identified floodplain that crosses our property and the church property. Next slide. This goes down to the south. I mean, this is for our neighbors to the south. The city has identified that drainage from off-site will come through our property and ultimately go through the neighborhoods. Next slide. All the way down to the oligarchy ditch, and in fact, farther. Back up 2 slides, please, Dallas. So one of the big things that's going to happen in our project is that major detention and drainage facilities are going to be constructed, which will take away a good portion of these potential flood problems. Go down 3 slides, Dallas, please. This is a slide that kind of shows the drainage impacts from our drainage solutions that will be coming with our development in the future. The big pond on the north of the big yellow piece you see just above our property has already been built. That was built by the city about 12 years ago. Within the boundaries of our property, the thick yellow line, you'll see 2 areas that are going to be detention ponds that will withhold a good portion of the water that comes from our north, west, and northeast. Those facilities will be constructed in phases with our project and will not solve 100% of the future drainage issues, but will certainly take a big step toward solving those problems. Dallas, could you go back up 4 slides? One of the things that this project does accomplish, I think, for not only for our neighbors but for the city at large, is improving traffic circulation in this north part. Also providing facilities for parks and recreation with the neighborhood park, a potential school site, and a wide variety of housing, many types for all our neighbors and for the city. There will also be more neighborhood type commercial that could be utilized in this area. And again, the big impact on the future drainage in the area. I mean, with that, that's really most of what I have to say. I'm really open to questions. If there's anything I've missed or glossed over too quickly, we're happy to answer anything the neighbors have to say.
Thanks, Jim. All right, so what are the next steps? As I indicated earlier, we are waiting on an application for this property. I don't, Jim and Pam will be able to would be able to tell you when they're anticipating submittal. You know, once it's submitted, if we receive an application before the end of the year, I would anticipate it would probably be second half of next year before any public hearings happened. So, just based on review times and cycles and such. So it's not a quick process, as I indicated. And again, public hearings would be held both before Planning and Zoning Commission, who would make a recommendation to City Council, who are ultimately the decision maker. Next slide. So there are a number of ways that you as the community can make your voice heard on this and on other proposed applications for development. You may submit written comments to planning staff. There will be a staff contact listed on any review, on any notification materials that you see in terms of signs and mailed notices. You are more than welcome to speak during the comment period at neighborhood meetings, as well as during public hearings before Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council. Next slide. So as we shift into the public comment portion of the meeting, I'd just like to go over some ground rules and parameters for participation. Much like at City Council, we allow 3 minutes per speaker. Dallas will have, we'll run the timer for that, and we'll let speakers know when their time is almost up. We do ask that you state your name and where you live. We ask that you keep questions and comments related to the current proposal. We also ask that you be additive and not repetitive in respect, out of respect for everyone's time. If someone else has already made your point, you're more than welcome to come in and say and speak, but maybe reference that your comments have been made. We do ask that you be respectful of everyone, of each other, of city staff, and of the applicant team. And I'll note that staff and the applicant will respond to questions after all callers have spoken. There are 2 exceptions to that rule. If we find that we are getting repetitive questions and comments, we'll jump in and go ahead and answer those questions. And if we find that incorrect information is being stated, we will provide accurate facts. Just to ensure that the best information is available for everyone. So with that, next slide. I'm going to turn it over to Dallas, and he will go over the process for everything.
Sure thing. Thanks, Jennifer. So yes, if you are watching the live stream right now, now's your chance to call in. I'm going to start a timer for 5 minutes. That number to call is 1-888-788-0099. When prompted, enter the meeting ID 864-6202-4691. We're going to take 5 minutes for callers. We'll see y'all here in a few. Thanks. Hi, all. We're about 30 seconds out from the 5-minute timer. Currently, we have no callers calling in. If you are watching the live stream right now and would like to ask a question or comment, make sure to call in now. That number again is 1-888-788-0099, and the meeting ID is 864-6202-4691. We're going to give it about 15 more seconds, and then we will continue on. Thanks. All right, so that was our 5-minute timer. Jennifer, we have no callers in the participant window.
Well, thank you so much, Dallas. Since there are no callers in the queue, if you don't mind putting the next slide up. Oh, next slide. There you go. So if you do have if any of the viewers do have questions or comments that come to mind following this meeting, once we conclude, contact information for the appropriate city staff planner as well as the applicant's representative are on the screen. Feel free to reach out. And with that, I would like to thank everyone who tuned in to watch this evening, as well as our city staff members and Pam and Jim. And of course, I would like to thank Dallas because he keeps all of our things running smoothly here, and we couldn't do it without him. So thank you very much and have a great evening.